Yeah.
What the heck?
What?
You didn't start your podcast.
I've been busy.
Your microphone sounds like heck. What are you doing?
Dude, my phone is totally broken.
Is it in like a weird case? It just sounds like it's shuffling around.
Is it better now?
It sounds really direct. Is your mouth really close?
Yeah. What about now?
It doesn't sound good. What happened?
Well, I told you my phone got ran over by an Uber not too long ago. And, yeah, honestly, pretty crappy story. I went out. So, pretty much I went out of my Uber, my phone fell out of my pocket, and it had a case on it, and then the Uber drove away, and right when it drove away, I realized it wasn't in my pocket, and I looked, and just shards of plastic flew everywhere, and I was like, ah.
Oh, my God.
And then I picked up the phone. My phone was like half smashed, but it still worked. But
I feel like you break more phones than anybody I know.
Oh, I cut out.
Sorry. So, what? I just thought, until you get your podcast going, I could maybe tide the audience over a little bit and give them just, some sort of marine biology topic, just one quick term that you can run by us.
Zooxanthellae, maybe? That's a classic one.
That's the thing. That's a Kyle classic, telling people about zooxanthellae.
I mean, it's pretty classic. No, I've just been busy. I have 4 tests this week, so I just took my second one today, and I have a stats test tomorrow. And I have to run to a freaking. I've got a flag football game in an hour, so I got to freaking run to that.
All right,
pretty hectic.
All right, so just give us zooxanthellae 101. Give me, and be aware you might drop out. This app's kind of buggy.
Yeah, I think.
So zooxanthellae, what?
It's a bacteria that relies on a symbiotic relationship between it and coral polyps, and essentially it undergoes photosynthesis. Dude, I was talking for a straight minute after you straight up said that. That was crappy.
Yeah, so the zooxanthellae it's like photosynthesis, but how?
But I know, so they're like so it is a photosynthetic algae pretty much. It's something it's a photosynthetic creature pretty much. They lie on the coral polyp. So coral polyps are pretty much like baby corals,
Mm-hmm.
Or just any coral you
in
see
the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, when you see coral, usually see a bunch of little circular, pretty much a bunch of little circular objects, and that all together is what you consider coral, but those individuals are considered coral polyps.
Yeah. Okay.
And when the zooxanthellae lay on these coral,
is the coral a plant?
The coral's an animal.
Okay.
Coral's an animal.
What animal would you compare it to?
Dude, you're getting past my pay grade here for sure.
Okay, so the coral's an animal, and then the zooxanthellae is more like a plant.
Yeah, zooxanthellae is more like a plant because, so the coral polyp on its own can't produce food. It can't produce food. So there's a really important symbiotic relationship between the two, because without the zooxanthellae, the coral polyp couldn't survive. That's why you have coral bleaching. That's kind of the biggest thing, because then the coral dies because the sugars that the zooxanthellae makes and feeds the coral in exchange for shelter, they're no longer there, and that's why we start to see they turn white, because all the zooxanthellae that makes up the color of the coral leaves because of warmer waters.
How big are the zooxanthellae?
I mean, they're microscopic.
Oh. So are they moving? If you look at them under a microscope, do they move? What are they?
I'm guessing yes. I'm
Oh
guessing.
my God, Kyle, you
Dude,
gotta.
Ryan, you're
I'm sorry I
asking some
sprung this
crazy.
on you.
You're asking some crazy questions, dude. I mean,
But
I
I'm
had a
saying when
general marine bio
I'm on
overview.
the magic.
We didn't go into the microscopic. We never went
Okay,
into
I'm just
marine
saying
bio,
right
not
now.
microbiology.
I'm just saying right now. You're like Miss Frizzle, and I'm just one of the kids in the class. You need to take me to the world of the zooxanthellae, and I'm just like, I need to paint a picture in my mind of what this is like, and that's all I'm asking for.
I thought I was painting a pretty good picture. I mean,
well, you told me the names of them. I'm just like, what do they look like?
I mean, I'm painting a picture, dude.
Well, you did. You said they're colorful. They're
They're
microscopic. Do they move?
I can't
Or do
get
they
into
look
the
like
cellular.
little?
I can't get into the cellular level of these things. I have no idea at the cellular level.
Okay.
I know it. I know it.
Sorry. I mean, I guess if you would have had warning that this episode we were going to do an
I guess
episode about zooxanthellae, you maybe would have looked this up. Come across this information.
I mean, I understand, but there's also I've never even learned about that. I never even learned about the actual cellular structure of what zooxanthellae are. I don't know. I mean,
are you the right person to host a marine biology podcast?
Dude, you you started this, right? You started this. Now you're fucking on me. I mean, in my opinion, I'd be probably more qualified for another type of podcast than a marine biology podcast, in my opinion. I mean, I know a good bit, but it's just like, I mean, yeah, I take math classes, but I wouldn't make my own fucking math.
All right. Well, I'll just
make
okay, but I know a little bit about it too. I think that if we both prepare before an episode, we could do a good job. But I just wanted to give the audience something to chew on until you get the episode up and running.
Well, but I mean,
yeah, you did. But I asked some hard questions. I just wanted some. I thought you would have known those couple of things. So wait. So anyway, yeah, the zooxanthellae are really sensitive to temperatures, and
they're sensitive to temperatures and also the amount of sediment in the water, and that's why you only see coral in clear waters in like the Caribbean, is because they only thrive in a certain temperature, and they can't survive with too much sediment because they are like photosynthetic, so they need light.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
When it's too cloudy, they can't photosynthesize.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Do you think that we'll be able to bounce back any of the coral reefs around the globe with using science, like kickstart them, maybe like get them going again eventually?
I think maybe if we somehow gather a lot of samples of the zooxanthellae, and then maybe after once, I don't know, man. A lot of people think the Earth is too far gone. Because there's so much carbon being absorbed by the oceans, all the time, that the water's just gonna get warmer and warmer, and then we're just gonna have a bunch of goddamn jellyfish in the ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard that jellyfish thing might be overstated. I'm reading a book about jellyfish right now.
I don't know. I think the jellyfish thing's for real. I don't know where you heard.
Well, just because they depend on a bunch of other things. They're not really as self-reliant. They need a bunch of if a lot of the other infrastructure of the ocean goes away, even jellyfish won't be there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true too. But
are you slamming your phone around?
Dude, my phone is screwed.
Are you moving it around at all right now, or is it sitting still?
I'm kind of moving.
You stop moving.
Dude, I've got to get. I have to be somewhere. I'm getting ready. You know what I mean? I got to be somewhere in an hour.
All right. Well,
wait, what I'm saying is this though. Okay, can the zooxanthellae bounce back? I'm gonna say no.
Flip. But you think that we should go around and collect them, try to keep them alive in labs, in case in the future we can reintroduce them?
Because they can, but it's only a short amount of time. You can, because there are cases where the water was warm, during the El Nino years,
Yeah.
So during the El Nino year, the waters got a lot warmer, and so all the zooxanthellae left. But later that year, when the waters cooled down, the zooxanthellae came back, and the coral came back to life pretty much.
Did you watch Blue Planet too?
I think I did. I've watched a lot of those.
It's new. Well, it's kind of new.
How new though?
Last couple months.
Probably not that. Maybe not.
It's pretty good, but they talk about this and they give you a sort of optimistic. They're like, we know how to cultivate them. We know how to we we can study them and maybe we can bring them back if we try really, really, really hard.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're a little bit optimistic. I appreciated that. Mostly Blue Planet. At the end of every episode, they just talked about how everything's fucked, like how every fish is full of plastic, like
and like you know, like after like Fukushima and stuff with the nuclear power plants and all that nuclear waste like straight up dumped in the ocean. Like no one even talks about that shit at all. It kind of annoys me. And then that stuff bioaccumulates. All of the I don't know the actual term for all the mercury in the ocean, like and all. I honestly don't know the term for it. I remember I did a report on it. I can get the term, but it bioaccumulates in all these creatures, and then you know all the predators are just like, if you eat them, you'll. The oceans are pretty fucked.
I know it really sucks. Like when you look at it, you're like, we need some people to create some incredible inventions to solve like
I don't know.
The problem of like
the
the plastic in the water. Like you know what I mean? Like there's plastic, like little tiny microscopic bits of plastic everywhere.
I think we've boned the Earth past the point of no return. And I really do think that. I think maybe I think what people are saying, how like we can solve a lot of this stuff, that's like so beyond where we are technologically. I don't know, man. The Earth's pretty boned. Maybe that should be my podcast name.
What?
The Earth is boned, or something like that.
The Earth is boned. All right. Well, thanks for keeping us in the loop with marine Kyology. Maybe we'll have some episodes coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'll think of it. What do you want your next when I call you next time? What do you want to talk about? And I'll give you some time to Google it.
I would just like to do something that isn't already, you know, have a billion things out there.
What do you mean?
Not always like. The only thing good about that SeaWorld one was the fact that there probably wasn't a billion things out there on that thing. You know what I mean? On that subject.
Okay, but I'm just saying in the meantime, until you get your podcast going, I'm going to call you again with another prompt.
Well, I'm going to have to start
and we can talk about
I'm going to have to start watching some stuff and like catching up on what's going on, you know, right now. I mean,
it doesn't have to be news. It could be also just terms and stuff like we just talked about zooxanthellae.
Okay, next term. I mean, you can talk about bioaccumulation, but that's kind of cool.
Okay, we could talk about. I'll call you next.
Like bioaccumulation of maybe like mercury or something like that. I mean, that can kind of explain to people. I mean, I think a lot of people know about that. That's why like you can't eat a lot of the fish in the Pacific, you know, because of all the bioaccumulation of all the mercury in the water.
All right. Well, I'll call you tomorrow and we'll talk about that.
Tomorrow's definitely not a good day, dude.
Okay, I'll call you the next day.
Okay, yeah. Dude,
I'll call you Saturday.
Friday or Saturday, yeah. I mean, if you really would, dude, I feel bad. It's just really not the forefront of what's going on in my life.
Well, that's fine. This took us 10 minutes. You guys using deli pounded out, so.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You really started attacking me with the stuff about their microstructure, and I mean, I have no fucking idea.
Well, I'm gonna go look that up. I mean, I never thought about that until I thought you were more of an expert than I'm finding out.
I took 2 classes on it. I mean, that doesn't make me an expert. Like,
I thought you were a scientist. I thought you were. In my mind, you're our best hope of solving this ocean problem.
Yeah, that would be really bad. They put that in my hands. I don't know what I need to do. I don't know where I'd start. That'd be so shitty.
All right.
Okay, Kyle.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
What are you gonna do? Here you go. You have all of our budget, which the budget's probably like, $60.
All right. Well, I'm gonna close up the podcast. Stop slamming your phone around.
Dude, I'm actually not even moving right now. I'm telling you, this thing, my phone is, sometimes it just freezes. It won't even let me do anything. Dude, I tried to get on my phone today, and there were white stripes up and down and everywhere, and it just started making noises. I couldn't get like, you don't know how fucked my phone is. I'm not even kidding.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to That's All, folks, and the second preview of Kyle's podcast, Marine Kyology.
Yeah, it's gonna be my podcast. Just my phone like cutting out like half the time. I'm just like, fuck, my phone's screwed up.
All right. Thanks for listening. So that's all, folks. Subscribe to our podcast and rate us on iTunes because we're on iTunes now. This is like a real ass podcast. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Peace out.